Here we go. Video journal for AZAB, Azores and back. I need to start this journal because things are happening so fast, so quick that I can't even keep track of what is going on. Let me try to paint a picture of where I stand and where I'm going to be in a year and in 2 years. So first of all, I'm a coach for exceptional people, and I coach them to be exceptional. And I can't be exception to this. In fact, I do follow, I could say, my dreams, but really the things that I want to see happen in the world. And there are a few. I want to help exceptional people thrive and find their way to live a meaningful life. I also want to have a powerful impact on ocean sustainability by inspiring millions of people to take individual and collective action for ocean sustainability. But I also have a deep desire, need almost, to sail solo around the world. And this is something that is, I would say, completely selfish. It's just for myself. This is what I want to do because I want to do it. It's not even because I want to achieve something, just because I want to do it. And I've been delaying to start thinking seriously about this for long, but then recently I started a short program with one of the best coaches in the world, which is Michael Neal, and which is called Create the Impossible. And I said, okay, let's play around with this Create the Impossible. It's about creating something that you deem impossible in 90 days. And it sounds counterintuitive, but of course, anything you deem impossible to create is because you are thinking a series of actions and a plan to do it, and you can figure out how to do it. But then, on the other side, we know that as creators, we do create things that are way beyond our expected ability, if you want. So I decided, let's give it a go. Let's think of creating the impossible dream of sailing solo around the world. And what happened is that things started to fall into place. And at the moment, I was about to buy a small boat, a very small, not enough to sail solo around the world. But well, I did it, and then I realized that was indeed the first step towards sailing solo around the world. But thinking, yeah, very far away, now I will sail this boat solo. It's a 22 feet sailing yacht, which you can sail in coastal along the coast. You wouldn't sail that in the middle of the ocean. But nonetheless, it's a good starting point to start sailing solo, because I know how to sail. I've been sailing forever on dinghies and on doing coastal cruising, particularly in the Mediterranean. But really, ocean sailing and solo sailing, I have never really done it. So, good place to start, a small-ish boat where you can sail solo and start like exploring the feeling of being solo on the ocean, the sea, and the feeling of doing all the things that you have to do on board on your own. And that's great. I said, well, okay, this is a good starting point. So maybe after the 90 days, I will sail solo with my new boat, and that will be my achievement. But then I also thought, okay, but what would happen next? If it has to happen in 90 days, how would it happen? Or if it has to happen after you sail solo with your small boat, what would happen? And what I found out is that it would be, my next step would be to sail solo on an Atlantic route. And by chance, actually the person who sold me the small boat mentioned a race of which I was aware but I kind of forgot, which is called the AZAB, AZAB, which is Azores and back. It's a sailing regatta that goes from Cornwall, Falmouth, to the Azores and back, and it's a regatta for solo sailors, and that's great. You need quite a bigger boat to do that than the one that I own right now, but nonetheless, it is there. I went to the website and I said, well, why not? This is obviously the next step. And so I signed up without a boat, which is something that you can do because it is quite an investment to do such a regatta in terms of buying the boat, preparing the boat for ocean sailing, getting all the security, all the safety equipment, and getting all in place. It's a long process of preparing, a long process of getting ready, and it's also very, very expensive. I have none of I have time, not much, because the race is going to be next year in June next year, so 2nd of June 2023. And well, I signed up saying to myself and to the organizer, well, I don't own a boat yet, but I'm going to sail with a Contessa 32, which is a boat that I love, and that I've been also the membership secretary of the Contessa Owners Association. So I know the boat very well. I've been sailing with a Contessa, with friends, owners of it, in the Solent and around the island, around the Isle of Wight, on some regattas that happen in the area. So this will be the boat. So I registered, and then what happened is that I went out in the world and I said what I would do. I told friends, and I told people that I know, and I posted on LinkedIn, which I was kind of I'm not sure, LinkedIn, and people will think that I'm mad, or people will think whatever, and people will think it's not a good excuse not to do something that you care for. So I posted on LinkedIn, and after a few hours I get a like and a comment from a person who happens to be an investor, and he kind of suggested that I could use a special set of sails from a startup that he's funding. I couldn't believe it. So I have already the sails, basically, which is a very special set of sails that makes sailing much easier and more efficient. Unbelievable. I said, no, that's not possible, but it is possible. Now we'll have to see whether we will agree to do it, but after just a couple of days, just putting myself out and telling the world of what my big project was, this starts happening. And of course, it is just the AZAB. It's just a solo race in the ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean. But this is my second step towards the objective of sailing solo around the world. Because after doing that, obviously, the next step will be sail solo around the world. Now, what's even more interesting and let's say interesting, is that I have in the past have built a community of startups in the maritime sector, and I have also created a TEDx event in Chaos, which I have produced and coached the speakers, and this happened November last year, 2021, which was about ocean sustainability as part of my objective to inspire millions of people to take individual collective action. And one of the speakers was Gavin Allwright, who is the head of the IWSA. Actually, he's the secretary, founder and secretary of the IWSA, which is the International Windship Association, which is an association pushing for green shipping by using wind as an additional source of propulsion for ships. And Gavin is doing a great job of promoting this new old way of moving goods around the world, and he now has a big membership, like 150 members in the industry, who are like companies that are working towards creating wind propulsion for ships, which is sails. It could be also other things. We don't go into this right now, but it's interesting that the company, the startup which I'm talking to about the sails, is part of the Windships Association, or the IWSA. So this is a nice connection. And another nice connection is that the startup itself is a startup that could be part of the community of startups that I created. So everything comes together, and in fact, now I see myself sailing on the AZAB with a Contessa, which I don't know where she is right now, but I know that I will be able to get her, with a set of sails produced by a startup, but also with other innovations on board that come from other startups in the community. And so imagine this Contessa 32, a 50 years old boat with all sorts of innovations on board, coming from the great ideas of entrepreneurial people and startups. This is really, really exciting. So how I'm going to find and get a Contessa for the job, I don't know. But I know that it will happen, same as all these things are happening right now. And so this is the long story, and I want to keep journaling about how it evolves and develops. But I think the message for leaders who want to find or create a way to live a meaningful life, which is something that I do help leaders do as a coach to exceptional people, is to really realize and have it clear of what is that you want to really do in your life, for your life. Like, I want to sail solo around the world. This is not something that in itself lends itself to helping other people or to having an impact. But in reality, for me, it is, and it is going to be. Same for you, the leader, the exceptional leader, who feels kind of constrained into a role that you built and that you feel you have to continuously feeding with more and more energy to stay and to be the person that you think that you are required to be as a CEO. Well, that's fine. This might really be your calling, but often you realize it's not, and you, the CEO, the leader, feels lost. So I want to also set an example for leaders, exceptional leaders, about what they can do to really live a meaningful life.